Right, it's 9 o'clock, so let's get going with our topic for today's Why Music Wednesday, which is how to use music to enliven a story or enliven your storytelling. So, first of all, what do I mean enliven a story? So, basically, all I'm talking about is using our musical instruments or maybe using songs to really bring a story to life. So it's kind of like a sonic role play where we try and set the scene using our sound makers. So the first thing we need obviously are some sound makers. So I have got together, I've got a little bucket, and inside my bucket I've got a few things that you can see as per the Boogie Mites style. It's just things that I have found around the house. So let's have a look at what I've got. So I've got a packet. Well, it had rolls in it, so it's like a bread packet. But I chose it because it makes a really nice crunchy sound. It actually sounds a bit like a fire. If you close your eyes, you can kind of imagine it's like the crackling of the fire. So I've got that, and it also feels really nice. It's very sort of slippery and smooth. It kind of feels really nice. So that's tactile as well as sonic. That's really, really nice. So that's just my bread packet. And I've also got some tissue paper, which also looks nice. But that makes a nice rustly noise. And I've got a tin, which we can just make some sounds like that. I've got my sticks, of course. Always good to have your wooden spoons handy. And I've got a shaker. Got a shaker. And then this is just a sort of weird clip thing, but it makes a little sound as well. So first thing to do is collect your sound makers like that. And even just collecting your sound makers, if you do that with your child, that in itself is a very creative activity and also a great activity for thinking about vocabulary and teaching your child maybe some new vocabulary or seeing what vocabulary your child already has. So, for example, we might think about describing sound. So I describe that as crackly and crunchy. I'm sure there's lots of other words that you could think of to describe that sound. So that's a nice way to think about words, describing words that describe the sounds that our sound makers make. And this one I think it makes a kind of rustling, whispering, quiet sound. It's a quiet sound. So you can go around the house with a bucket or a bag or something like that and your child and just see what you can find that makes a noise. It could be literally anything. It could be a cushion or a toothbrush or just anything that you find around. Just see if you can make a sound with it and see if you can encourage your child to think of some descriptive words to describe the sound. So it becomes an exercise that is good for ears and listening to sounds and discriminating sounds. And it's also an exercise that's really, really good for vocabulary. So thinking about those describing words. So once you've got your bucket of sound makers, you can explain to your child that you're going to use your sound makers as you tell a story. Now, this is really, really great if perhaps your child is a bit fidgety or finds it difficult to sit down, sit still and focus on a story. Sometimes it just helps that they have something in their hands and that they can join in with the story. And it also helps the child to really engage with the narrative of the story and also the scene of the story, the setting of the story, if they can use all these sound makers to really recreate the setting right in your room. So it's a great way to really encourage children to focus on your story, to really think about the narrative, to really think about the setting of the story, how it might feel, how it might sound. So it really, really gets children involved in the story. So great for focus, great for concentration, and also very, very good for listening skills and for thinking about things, how things sound, and how you can then make that sound with your instrument. So very good for something that we call phonological awareness, which is an awareness of all sorts of aspects of sound that really feeds into literacy skills. So this is a great exercise for literacy and communication too. So once you've got your lovely basket of things, then what you can say is, right, we're going to read our story and let's see if we can help set the scene with some of our sound makers. So the story I've chosen today, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's a really nice story that I used to read to my children. It's called Monkey and the Moon. So let's just open the story up. So you could say to your child, right, the sound makers are all quiet now because the story hasn't begun. So everything is quiet and silent, and the story is going to start our world of discovery. So here's our lovely story. And it says, Monkey scampered to the top of the bamboos. Scampered. How can we do scampered? We might even use the book. You could ask your child, what does scampering mean? Does it mean kind of running very fast and very quickly? How can we do a scampering noise? Or maybe I can have monkey scampering up the bamboo tree. And what's a bamboo tree? It's a very tall tree that rustles in the wind. That's something we know about bamboos. So maybe we could make the sound of the bamboo. Now we can really imagine monkey scampering up to the top of the bamboo, and he can hear all the rustling. So what happens next? He gazed at the crescent moon that hung in the night like a great silver smile. And I can see the moon in the picture, but I can see something else. Yes, I can see a parrot. And what sound is the parrot making? Squawk, 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 squawk. Well done. So we've got lots of sounds already in our story. But monkey made no sound. Let's listen to no sound. His wide eyes were filled with longing for the moon, and every night he watched her smile grow wider, and every night she beamed down at him without a word. So let's listen to without a word. When there are no words, there's silence. He watched the moon grow round and full. The moon is the loveliest thing I have seen, high above the world, so quiet and wise. If only I can touch her, I shall learn much from what she sees. I'm actually looking for for a bit in my book where the animals start making a noise. Here we go. The insects clicked and hummed and buzzed in amusement. So let's see if we can find some instruments to make a clicking noise. How can we make a clicking noise? What's a clicking noise? You can ask your child to explore the sound makers for a clicking noise. Maybe you could say it's a bit like the noise of heels on the pavement. I think I've got just the right thing for a clicking noise. I think that's a little clicking noise. or you could use your sticks. Make a little clicking noise too. And what about a buzzing noise? How can we make a buzzing noise? You can ask your child if they can find anything in their basket of sound makers that makes a buzzing noise. Let me have a look. I'm going to see if I can use my shaker for a buzzing noise. The birds fluttered and squawked. Can we make a fluttering noise? Let's have a look in our baskets. What does a fluttering noise sound like? I wonder if this could be a fluttering noise. I think I can imagine all the birds flying and swooping around the trees, making a fluttering noise with their wings. So you can see, I hope, what I mean by using music to enliven a story. You can basically take your child's favourite story or a new book, it doesn't really matter, and just use those sound makers to explore the story, especially at those points where the story mentions sound. And then you can use these sound makers to really discover how much your child is understanding the vocabulary around sound and what different sounds are like. So I hope you enjoyed today's Why Music Wednesday. And I hope it's given you some more ideas for how you can use the instruments that we use in Boogie Mites anyway. So your drums and your sticks and your shakers. So we don't only have to use those for when we're actually making music in our sessions or when you're making music at home. We can actually use them during story time, and it's especially a good activity if you've got more than one child as well. So perhaps if you're a childminder, it's a really nice activity for children to cooperate around and also take turns to see if they can find a sound maker for each sound. We had in our story a buzzing noise and we had a clicking noise. And if I had 3 hands, I could do the fluttering noise as well. So if you're a childminder looking after 2 or 3 children, you can actually create that whole soundscape of the story using your sound makers. So I hope that's given you some ideas. If you do try and use this at home or in your setting, please let us know how it gets on, how you get on, and yeah, let me know anything you discover really by using this as a method for bringing more engagement and more role play and more creativity into your storytelling. So thanks very much for tuning in, and I will see you very soon.